Oh, oh, here we go.
Hello, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and all those other platforms we're heading out to. And I might be a little bit passionately robust about now. And I'm not going to apologize for anything I say tonight. And whatever comes out, it comes out because I'm sitting here with a man, and we have done for the last 6 weeks. And tonight is our last episode under the banner of doing good and volunteering because I've got an exciting announcement a little bit later on tonight.
Shh,
So,
shh,
oh,
shh.
did I still, oh, oh, I'm really looking forward to that. But how do we measure good? How do we measure good? But before I go there, Divine, how are you?
Yes, I am
How are you?
sensational. I am. I'm sensational. You know, I am sensational. I'm probably not as energetic, sensational as what I normally am. It's been a long week, long 2 weeks, actually long 3 weeks. So I again, if I'm nodding off, it's because the conversation's not stimulating enough. No joke. But apart from uh, some desire to rest, I am sensational. Thanks for asking.
Well, let's just to quickly dive into the last 3 weeks because I think it's really important, right? Because
Hmm.
we are here for volunteering, we are here about doing good, we are here for, creating positive environments. So, what magic have you been creating and building towards Reciprocity? Now, Reciprocity, for those of you who don't know what Reciprocity is, it is a town, it's a community that is being built from doing good. We're
Hmm.
finding each other's magic and we're creating more, and it is a beautiful place to live in. Maybe I live in rose-colored glasses, but hey, I
It,
love it.
it's the aspiration we should all have, Scotty. It's the only currency there is good. You can't buy
I
your
just
way. uh,
to get into reciprocity, it is the only currency that we have.
The
But
only currency is good. You have to be
uh,
doing good.
I am 8 years into volunteering and doing good too. Everything is good. Well,
Awesome.
look, and I'm sorry that you StreamYard hasn't got permission to put your name up there at the moment. If you could do that, that'd be awesome. Because I'd love to know who this is. Because I'd like
Yeah.
to know more about your volunteering. I'd like to know how you volunteer, where you volunteer, what good does it bring to your life, what good does it bring to other people's lives? Because doing good is good.
Well, and it's probably first off the rank here when we talk about, a subject we wanted to bring up about how do you measure good.
Mm.
The Firefly Initiative, we've got a way to measure time, and we've got a way to reward that time. And we talked about it. I think must have been like episode 2, episode 3. We talked about intrinsic versus extrinsic. You know, and those things are so intertwined that you can't have one without the other, which is a measurement of good too. Is it? I feel good myself. I feel good that you feel good. Yeah, how do we measure that? So over the last 3 weeks, we've been really blessed to have the opportunity, thanks to some sponsors, to reward like in cash some good. So we down, I don't know if you've been watching or not, but Scotty was there on one of the nights we presented. He gave some from his heart to others. A thank you for the good they're doing as well. So there is ways that we can measure good. There is ways that we can acknowledge the value of good, which is what we've been trying to chat about for the last 7 weeks. The value of good. So it's been pretty exciting, and we got lots of organisations now who have seen, the the process, and realistically, we lots of comments about how wonderful it is for volunteers to finally have a company that said, "Hey, listen, we do appreciate you. We want to lift you up. We want to elevate you to the superhero status that you are." And they've gone, "Wow, this is so good." So that's been like, yeah, how else can you sum up the job you've done, outside other people going, "Thanks for doing it."
It is remarkable.
It is remarkable, right?
And let's dive into that. Remarkable, right? Because it's something that you actually brought into my life, which I'm actually super
Uh-huh.
stoked for. All the way from Slovakia. Sorry, got a little shout out to Toby. How are you, mate? From coming in from Slovakia. That's pretty
Wow.
cool. I'm pretty
Yeah,
happy with that.
awesome.
And so remarkable, right? And that's
Mhm.
in that moment, remarkable. That comment to see that name was remarkable for me because it made me feel good. Just someone
Yeah,
popping up and saying g'day.
yeah.
So what's remarkable, Daryl?
Remarkable. Well, like, well, we hear about it in relationship and context with something that is out of the norm, that is an occurrence that we didn't expect. You know, I remember the first time I heard the word was at the circus, and you see the trapeze guys, and they're about to do this remarkable triple somersault, and as you hear about that, but when you actually get into that process of thinking about words and looking up what the actual definition is supposed to be, in which context it's supposed to be, remarkable in relation to our life, in relation to the good that we do. Yeah, I don't think there's anything better to strive for than being referred to as remarkable. Not me or the feat, but being made worthy to be remarked about. So, in other words, to have something that you've done that then becomes talked about or made remark of. Like I said to you, you go to see a movie and you remark about all of them, but the good ones are remarkable, of worthy to make. And it's like you ring your mates. Saw this movie last night. Like, I had about 27 calls when Maverick came out from all the old Top Gun fans, like we used to, 20 years ago. And all my mates went, man, it is so good. I thought it'd be lame. I thought it'd just be like a spin. It's so good. All of them made that movie remarkable, worthy of making remark of. So I hold us all to that. It would be nice, like we talked about, saying hi to the checkout girl at Coles.
Yeah.
How's your day? That you hope that if nothing else, that she gets home and speaks to whoever she speaks to when she gets home and says, this guy just asked me a simple question but made my day. Because that story now becomes legacy, right? And then someone else says, oh, Sharon was talking about this guy that came in and just told her a joke and made her day. And on it goes. And this is where our culture first started. Our Indigenous forebearers, the whole process of their education was remarkable. Things that happened. They didn't have pens and paper. They weren't taking textbooks. They didn't have computers and Google. They didn't have any of that. It was all what they made remark of. So it's a big word for me. I love it. It's something that, so when we have people that then make remark about the Firefly Initiative and the platform we've built, it's, I was going to say, I was just about going to say, is it better than money? But you know what, money's pretty handy. So, but it's a real close second.
Well, remarkable. We've got a lot of comments coming through, and I love this, right? And I wish I could get a name on this one. Spreading art and doing ideathetic measurement of good through ideograms. I think they are why people like AI art. Now that is language beyond my capability. I like it. Doing ideaesthetic. What do you think that is, Daryl?
Danny McGood. Danny McGood.
Oh, Danny, how are you, Danny? Oh, giddy up. I love the fact that it's Danny. All right, giddy up. I like it. Beautiful. Danny's got a beautiful heart. Danny's a guy that just spreads good. He is a good man. And his
There you
middle name
go.
is Scott. So there we go. I love it. Beautiful. Thank you, Danny. All right, so I'm going to dive into something actually because I just said I want like I love the comments and I love the opportunities that which are remarkable, right? People are joining in this conversation, which is remarkable because at the end of the day, how do you know if you touch someone's heart or not? Well, hopefully they make a comment and they will leave a remarkable existence with them. So there's lots of ways to volunteer and doing good. Feeling good in our hearts from someone's small acts of kindness is special, a special feeling. And I agree
Absolutely.
with that. And
Absolutely.
that's what doing good's about. That's what volunteering is about. So,
Yeah.
do you want any comments on that one, Darren?
No, I just appreciate that. It's one of those things, isn't it? If we could all just say thanks to those special things that are done, so easy.
And I feel we forget at times that just a simple fact, thanks can make a significant difference.
Hmm.
I love going down to my local supermarket down there at IGA, and I've got Linda down there who's always ready for a joke from me now. She
Hmm.
even pops them up in the business of smiles every now and then. But it makes my experience, remarkable, literally, because I had this engagement and it is such a wonderful thing to be able to feel like you're a part of your community, and I'm going to dive off into Scott Bankier. I just want to appreciate that comment. I measure good by observing the power of bad. I'm going to grab a hold of that right now. Are you okay, Daryl, if I put the golf ball on top of the tee and have a swing?
Knock yourself out, man. Just don't let go of the club.
Okay, I'll try not to. Okay, because this could be. I am robustly passionate about a situation that happened today, and it's something that I have. I'm choosing my words.
Can I just jump in and
Please.
and introduce this a little bit based on what our good friend Scott has just, I measure good by observing the power of bad. And it's one of those things that we discussed just briefly before we came on live, about the difference between being gooder, which doesn't exist because good is not a word, even though you can be gooder than you were yesterday, but badder, I can be badder, and that we had been to a degree in society desensitized to what bad is. So then the boundary is stretched. This was, I remember, I got the backhand from mum when I said struth. We were watching Jaws because we didn't swear in our house. And it was like some brave gesture of struth is almost like, it's in between good and bad. So I'm not getting in trouble because it's not a swear word. Yes, it was, because the intent was, right? But that was bad then. And now the language that you hear on music, that's on radio, that's blaring all over the place for our kids to hear, is now not bad. So to preempt, Scotty had a little experience with something that may be perceived as being a good measure of good because it's an obvious position of bad.
Yes, you can, Beryl. You can feel my heart bleeding, and it's for my community. It's from the community that I love, and I will protect with vengeance because of, like I'm okay to come up with statistics for what's actually going on in a neighbourhood. I'm okay to state that violent crimes happen. I'm okay to state that all of whatever comes up comes up, but I think what is really important is what's projected and how much time you take in understanding what is actually going on. What I'm not okay with is so-called influencers coming into Frankston and projecting people's pain for their own I just want to say so many words, but I'm just saying their own indulgence and to celebrate their own career and utilize it to further their goodness, their superiority over others. And it's a very weak position to come from. I live in a community full of amazing people who really work hard to support people that just need a leg up. And when you come from superiority and you choose not to put your hand out and support people and to lift them up, you are the problem. And I'm tired of a world that chooses to value bad over good. What you project, you sell. We come here to share good, to sell good, because good does good. Good creates love, good creates safety, good creates connection, good creates the world I want to live in. Projecting your fears and weakness because you won't take the time to come and lift people up, it's not okay with me anymore. Especially when you come into my community from another state just to project that and utilize that with your 5.2 million followers to sell your ideology. I'm not okay. I'm trying to be contained here, Daryl.
I know. I'm going to just spit it out, man. Look, it's one of those things that the unfortunate part about that is like we've talked before about when's the good news stories.
Yeah.
But we only see the bad news stories. You know, this road accident, this murder, this whatever, this, you know, they have an hour every day, and the percentage of bad stories versus good stories would be 1% of the stories they could tell. So there's some part about the mentality of us as a society in general. I mean, when you were talking, then the first thing that flashed in my mind is Ned Kelly was good. Ned Kelly was a superhero of his day, and he wasn't. He was a crook, but he's celebrated as a folk legend, folk hero, folk whatever. At the end of the day, the reality is Ned Kelly was a gunslinging bushranger that didn't care. So we have this thing about, I don't know, is it like, I question, is it that hard to do good, or is it that we've been infiltrated mentally about the fact that, you know, nice guys finish last, so don't be a nice guy, which means that you have to be a bad guy, which means you have to do bad, not good. You know what I mean? It's like these ideologies that we've had throughout history that teach us that it's difficult to be good. It's so much easier to just be neutral or bad. You know, I think about it all the times, and as a parent myself, and then as a parent, as a kid from my parents, how many times we get reprimanded for being bad versus the times we are celebrated for being good.
Are you ready?
Go.
Okay. I'm hanging on here. We celebrate and commend bad because it's easy. It's easy to just go, yeah, that's bad. It's easy to go, that, yep, that's just bad. It's hard to actually go and go, do you know what? I don't like that. And this is why. And then take that badness and create a better society, because we're going to learn from that and we're going to grow together and step into that and go, that's actually not okay. It's so much easier to point than it is to take responsibility and actually make a difference and take that step forward and challenge it. You know what? That's not okay. I'm not okay with that. Okay. So let's step forward together and find a better way to move forward. It takes effort. It takes courage. It takes strength to take on that. We live in a society that's weak. We live in a society that chooses to point the finger rather than to step in and go, mate, here's a hand. How can I help you up?
Yeah.
How can I make 1 + 1 = 3? How can we walk this life together and actually celebrate and support each other? You know, like it's something for me as a parent. I have focused greatly on making sure I don't smash my son when he does something negative. I'd rather give him a big emotion and celebrate him for doing good so that that's got a bigger emotional content. So that's something that he focuses on. It is so important that we take the courage to actually understand what the problems are. So then they don't carry the emotional connection to excitement, elevation, right? And that's something for me that is, time will tell, but it's a real focus for me to really put my hand out and lift up. Sorry, I'm getting a bit.
You're all good. It raises some good questions. You know, we have been conditioned to, you know, like I said earlier, is what degree is bad now bad?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like violence is not bad now because everyone's been desensitized to it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But you get to that point of, I think what we need to do first, Scotty, is before you can actually put a hand up, before you can actually do any good, you have to be able to draw the line and say, this is unacceptable to me. Yeah. And that's blurred now too. So it's easy just to avoid, you know, like to not get involved, to not step out and go, hey, you okay? Do you know what I mean? Because I don't know whether your circumstances are really that bad or whether they look bad, because where's my line of what is unacceptable to me? Do you know what I mean? I look, man, my heart goes out every time. We're in Melbourne just the other day, right? And it's probably that I was in the city. There's a new environment, so you're looking at things through different eyes than what you do when you just walk around your own backyard. You see things, and I was devastated by the amount of people on whatever that street is, that one down there, Spencer Street. Yeah, that one. That are living rough, right? That are on the street, and that's unacceptable. It is then, what do you do about when you find something that's unacceptable? What you do is what we've been talking about, right? You do good. Anything short of that.
Okay. Yeah. So as a society, we are managed by the 1%, right? Our laws are governed by the 1% that don't want to play by the rest of the laws, right? That's why they get put into place that work is done. As a society, we are only as strong as that 1%. Right? Whatever life has gifted them, they've made the decisions they've had to make. And I've sat with people that I don't blame them for numbing themselves because they don't have the tools to deal with the crap that's going on in their life, nor do they have a safe place to do that. You know, and this is going to be crazy because this is where I get really passionate, right?
This bit compared to the last 6 weeks.
But this. I don't think anything that's been done in the past is wrong. I think we've got to a point now where we've got to this point through what most people. I've never met anybody make a decision to make the wrong decision, right? So with that in my mind, every decision that people have made based upon their existence and their education, they think they're making the right decision for the now, right?
Mm.
My objective right now is to ask better quality questions to decide the future that we can create together by understanding one another. But in order to do that, we need to meet in the middle. We need to have conversations about how we can grow together. 1 + 1 = 3. I had a conversation today which breaks my heart. Many conversations today that have broken my heart, but one in particular. I had a conversation with an Indigenous mob that I didn't get to speak to them directly. I had to go through different channels, and it was about permission to understand them, permission to come and learn, and just for me to come and learn. And the door got closed. No. That breaks my heart. That's an opportunity for me to learn about somebody else. It's an opportunity for me to sit and understand, not to judge, to learn, so that I can do more good with what I do because I've got a better understanding of other people's needs. It breaks my heart that we're not open to that. It breaks my heart that we don't get the opportunity to open those doors to see what's behind, to learn together. Because we're worth learning together. We're worth learning each other. We've all got pasts. We've all got stories. We've all got in our bloodlines things we're not proud of. But in order to move forward, we've got to meet in the middle.
Yeah, well, look, the only thing we have is our story.
Correct.
Doesn't matter. Everything else is superfluous, right? It's our story. Yeah. I can have, 10 houses and 20 cars, and that's all through ill-gotten gain. Well, that's my story. The story is not the houses and the cars. The story is the ill-gotten gain. Or I can live in a tent and everything I get, I give to everybody else. And then your story is he lived in a tent and gave everything he had to everybody else. You know what I mean? It's the only thing we have. It's the only narrative that we get to create. You know what I mean? It's the only thing out. Some of us then go, in my past, stories were created for me.
Yeah.
I was a participant in my story, but I didn't write it. But we all get the opportunity at some stage in our life to go, no, I don't like that narrative. I'm throwing that book out and start a new one. So all these things, I totally agree with you. Yesterday's gone. You can scream all you want, as loud as you want, for as long as you want. Whatever happened yesterday happened. Unchangeable, unretractable, unforgettable, as much as it is. But it's part of that story, not this story. Not this story. I gotta make sure I can see which one I'm pointing. So I'm just look like an idiot waving my arms around the background here. Yeah, I mean, so it's it is, but when we have all these polar opposites, and the worst thing about it is now that we're watching a movie with the grandkids the other night, and it was this stupid show, some Santa Claus show. He's got this magic list. There's the good list. There's the bad list. And he was getting frustrated because his bad list is just exponentially growing. And he's going, what happened to all the good kids? I was like, what happened to all the good kids? Why do these 13-year-old kids that want to go and ransack places and steal cars? Why is bad their good?
Oh, okay. We're going to go there, right? Because it's a pretty simple equation. We're not investing in them enough, right? We're not investing in being a part of their lives, creating mentorships that give them the opportunity to see what good is. We give them games like Grand Theft Auto. We teach them that society is about creating more pain. Drugs are an influence. Alcohol. That's what the projection is. We're no longer, we value the dollar more than we do people. Like we've got childcare centres that kids go into at 6 months old or even younger. The government pays to have these kids in there. Why don't you give that money to the family to say, hey, listen, we're going to support you to be around more because you're that important. Your family network is that important. We've got the cost of living going through the roof at the moment. Why? There's no need for that to happen. What is the purpose of that? Where's the humanness in that? Where's the goodness in that? We're creating pain for one another on purpose. Why?
That's a good question, man.
Like, I'm not okay with this.
There's so many answers. Greed,
Yeah.
ego, power. It just so happens that when you associate all those things that come out of these circumstances that we're in now, none of them are good. There's no good reasons. Oh, let's have a recession because that will benefit the majority of the population. Wrong. Let's see unemployment go up because that'll help the majority of the population. Right? Like there is nothing that they're doing that is in the good department. And again, look, and I'm not having a go at politicians. I would never do it. I thought about running for prime minister at one stage, Scotty. Did I tell you that?
Yeah, you did.
It would have been a laugh. But so I take my hat off because, again, it's a bad job. There is no good outcome for a politician. None. You might please your constituents for a little while, but you'll disappoint everybody else. So I wouldn't do it. So I'm not bagging the politicians. They are in a no-win scenario.
Agreed.
It would be great if we got some actual rocket science into politics so they could think on a logical basis. But there's a whole heap of ego. When to stand in a public position, you have to have some degree of ego. You have to have some degree of confidence to think you can actually make a difference if you care. Or you just got a good job, well, pays well, to make a good job. Because it's all, to me, it all comes down to what difference are you making? Which is really obvious. Or it's really obvious. If you're doing bad, you're making a big difference. You know, you got these neighborhoods that have been destroyed because of some guy that doesn't want to mow his lawn on Tuesday. Now there's a feud that goes on for years. Video goes. I was just watching the 60-minute report. I was losing my mind. This feud started because a guy want to mow the neighbour's. You know, you do the right thing, right? Get the mower out. The neighbour's lawn looks a bit long. While I'm doing the nature strip, I'll do his too. Don't mow my lawn.
So let's grab that for a minute, right? Because what was the objective of actually promoting that? What was the actually objective of 60 Minutes taking that story and utilizing that as their front running story as a conversation because they're promoting bad, right?
Bad.
So, but would they have the courage to take the opportunity that I know somebody who actually noticed their lawns were getting a bit long, right, and noticed that this person had recently become single. So he went across and just started mowing a lawn when he mowed his lawn. Takes him 15 minutes. From that one thing that he's done, I just want to do that to support you right now.
Mm-hmm.
She bakes a cake every now and then, drops it off. Thank you. The good that's done in that one single action, but that won't make 60 minutes.
No.
Because we don't want to sell good. But if we sold good, we feel good and we do good. We're living it. We're living it in this opportunity called life, right? Life, grow. Yeah. And let's grow together. I want to get back to something that for me is of significant importance, right?
Let's have a headshot there.
All good. I don't believe any part of life has been wrong. I don't believe that the decision makers that are choosing to put us under a lot of pressure think that they're wrong. I believe that their education process has shown them that the decisions they're making are right. So how do we show what could be of value to our communities? How do we show people that have significant influence over the lives we live that there is another way? How do we show them what love can create?
Yeah, well, we just have to keep doing it, right?
100%.
We have to keep doing it.
Right? I look at people's faces and I love it. I look at this muscle here, right? This here is where people live. Yeah. If they have muscle here, there's joy in their life.
Mm.
If they have no muscle here, they have no joy. My question to people, and it's the one thing for me that I'm becoming even more protective of. And Daryl, you would well and truly agree with this. Who do you spend time with? Who's the influential people in your life? Who's making decisions for you in your life? Is it coming from joy? Or is it coming from pain?
Yeah. Well, you've just stepped into that domain again where we've had the conversation before in relation to think and feel. I'm a thinker, not a feeler. So the decisions I make are made on practical reality of the evidence in front of me and the most logical process of moving forward in that solution. So I have to say they're coming from neither, not joy or pain, because I think about those circumstances. It's different if you're talking about having a fight with your wife. Okay, you can. Because that's emotionally charged, and it's hard to stay logical when you're emotionally charged. But so many of us just fly off the button because we feel upset, or do you know what I mean? It's
yeah, like Daryl, can you please make sure you turn off all devices before you step into the studio?
Our office phone never rings.
Oh.
Not at 7 o'clock.
But
anyway,
I want to grab this. I want to grab this for a second. This would be a fascinating convo without a right-wrong frame. I said because that's quite interesting, right? Because it's what's right and wrong. I no longer have an opinion on what's right or wrong because I look at life through experiences, and I have to understand what somebody's experiences are before I even make a judgment what's best for me. And I can't say to somebody else that my judgment's the right thing for them. It's just a judgment I'm making for myself for me to move forward the best I possibly can. What is the best decision I can make from this experience? You know, and it's really interesting. Like the more I learn, the more I realize I don't know. And that becomes even more confusing. But then I need to learn more and spend time with more people. And I think I just want to surround myself in people doing good. I want to live in reciprocity. I want to know what that life looks like. I want to know what we as humans can create. I want to know how much joy is possible.
Yeah.
You know?
It's unlimited, man. If you want it to be. There's no cap. There's no going to like, here's a pound of joy. Or here's a kilo of joy.
sorry, there's a comment come through. I'm
Oh
gonna,
no, right?
I'm gonna bring it up because it's just easier. Hi, Scott. Krista, how are you? I do kindness and love and compassion, understanding. I indulge myself to years for being selfish and self-centered, which caused me, my parents, my family, my children nothing but grief. I took and gave nothing back. I didn't and wouldn't listen to others, especially those that love me the most. Well, life happened. I lost all, and now I'm trying to make up for the years of selfishness. How I share and care everything as an example of living and giving and receiving. Krista, I'm going to grab this, right? And I'm going to encourage you to learn from those experiences. I'm going to encourage you to understand that nothing can be done about the past. It's only how you move forward that makes all the difference. I too have a past, and it's not as pretty as I'd like. But it's what I do with that knowledge, and it's how I encourage others and grow from that. That is the true experience of life. You have a lot of value simply because you've had that experience. You have a lot to gift others by teaching them how you could improve things, how you did improve things. What are the things that you realize because of these experiences? You have a lot of good in you. You have a lot of good to give. Daryl?
Yeah, there's a couple of interesting things in this. The sentences starts well. Life happened. That's the first recognition. Well, life happened, and life happens to all of us every day. And we've had a conversation before about my mentality on failure. It's all good to fail, and fail means you tried, and I decided to change the narrative in my head so I don't fail anything. I have unfulfilled expectations or outcomes that didn't result in the expectation I was trying to achieve. But no one sets out to fail. And Krista, you didn't set out to have a selfish and self-centered life. There is things that happened in your journey that may have made you respond or react that way, to a point where you went, then you know what, life happened. And it's a fantastic turning point for all of us. Fortunately for some, it happens before wherever we are next. But for others, I mean, you've got the opportunity, Krista, that life happened. It would have been different. He said, "Hi, Scott. I'd like to know how do you do kindness and love, because I'm still living this selfish, self-centered life, and it's toxic to everybody around me, and it's all filled with grief." But no, life happened, and you're now moving into that. Like Scott said, you're enlightened about those things. But it was what I said earlier. We need to be able to say to ourselves that this is unsatisfactory to me. Your behavior is unsatisfactory to me. My own behavior is unsatisfactory to me. That's the first part about recognizing what is good and what is bad. Do you know what I mean? So you've had this journey, Krista, where you've gone through these things, and eventually, unfortunately, sometimes it's later than what you'd hope, but you got to that point where you went, life happened. And now I try to make up for those years. Don't make up for those years, just create new ones. You're never going to make up for those ones.
Why would you? Like, you can't, like, it just do good with what you've got,
Yeah.
And I promise you, Chrissy, you never made a decision to make the wrong one.
Yeah.
You made a decision based upon the education that you were gifted that has allowed you to make those decisions. And only once you made those decisions did you even realize you could have done them better.
Mm.
We just take these opportunities and create lessons. Yeah. Problem is not the problem, right? Problem can either create pain, lessons, or opportunities, right? You get to choose which one of those you want. You can stay in the pain. That's more than welcome to do that. Or you could have the courage to take that pain and find the lessons and what you can improve on. Then have the beauty of taking the opportunity and making those lessons work and grow and teach others. That's the gold. That is the true gold in life.
Yeah.
So yeah. So
Very, very rare do we get to meet someone who has had such a revelation in their life.
yeah.
Most people don't. Most people don't even get to a point of being at the back end of the pain and go, I've had enough of this pain. They just keep going. They just think it will change. One day it will get better.
Yeah, 100%. Well, I'm currently used to having a pension from the government comparable after rent to the pocket change I got my parents. Well, that's. I've just thrown it up there, and I appreciate you throwing the comment up. Actually, something I want to throw up just before I dive into this. Krista, thank you for having the courage to share
Yeah.
that. Thank
Awesome.
you for taking the heart to share yours and to share your journey. I value that. I am currently used to having a pension from the government comparable after rent to the pocket change I got my parents at the age of 8 to 10. What do you want from this? What do you want from this? What is it you need from this, Danny, that is going to help you grow? What is the lesson? Because this is the pain. What is the lesson you need to grab right now? What is the thing you need to take going forward? So my parents split and I got the child support I was suppose was maybe the correct age. Yeah, I can appreciate that, Danny. So, but having that experience in your life with your parents splitting and the child support that you got, what are you going to do good with that? What are you going to create that's going to make your life a greater opportunity? I encourage you to explore that and to bring that to the table, because that's the magic right there. When we've got today, I moved home. Lost my lease. Today I moved home. Lost my lease for the 8th time 6-month period. So yes, never stability. I really want to dive into this, right? Because it's interesting, because there's lessons in it, right? Stability is important to you. Why is it important to you? Because your parents split. So how are you going to create stability for others in your life? How are you going to create it for yourself? All right. So this is where I get lost in the dialogue, and it probably becomes pretty boring for everybody, but that's okay, right? Can never get a stable warehouse to prove what I've got. Okay. I need more context around that. So what I'm going to do, Danny, is I'm actually going to reach out to you tomorrow. I'm going to have a conversation with you, and I've had dreams of warehouses, man. I've seen them in my dreams. I know it's okay. It's in my dreams. I know it's happening, and maybe this time the dream getting a notification of watching this video. Do you know what, Danny? I actually think tonight is really important for you to chase your dreams, and to do good and to find that, because I'm only going to share a little bit of my journey. Only until life keeps knocking at your door, opportunity keeps knocking at your door. When you actually take that opportunity is something that is never really known until you step into it. I love that you're crying, Danny. I love that this means that much to you. I love the fact that you're being honest with where you're at, and that's your dream. You're going to chase it. Chasing your dreams, becoming the best version of you, it's extraordinary. It's not easy, but it's damn well worth it, mate. I promise you. I still have many lessons in life But I love what's being created. I love the opportunity. I'm really proud of you, Danny. Really proud of you for stepping up to being a part of this and just sharing your heart tonight, letting us know where it's at. Thank you, Daryl.
Yeah, look, I have been despite what one of our guests might think, been the thinker, not the feeler. I want two things, Danny. What works for me in this circumstance, because it's hard to stay focused on those dreams, and especially obviously the ones like you're sharing tonight that mean so much. So I'm going to encourage you to think about the cans, not the can'ts. There's one thing that worked for me all the time is as soon as you put that narrative, like there was one comment here, I can never get a stable warehouse. It's hard to keep chasing your dream around the same block. So what I do is I always look at what's next, what happens next. So in that position where I go, I can't get this warehouse, but there is one there for me because it's part of your dream and you already had that vision and you know what your vision is. So I always try and think about that. Don't eliminate the opportunity for your dream to be successful before you get started on it. Your passion is there, obviously, because it means a lot. Your vulnerability is there because you opened up and shared about that. You got a great guy here, Scott Carson, who's going to catch up with you, which will be awesome. But yeah, those things that we so quickly can lean to when things aren't going the way we want. I mean, we've been on this 2.5 year journey where we got I personally was blessed with God saying, I want you to do this. I want you to go and lift up all the people that are doing good. Christian, non-Christian, didn't matter. Because I believe in my belief system that the virtues of God is good, and anyone that's doing good is already ordained or blessed by the hand of God, whether you want to acknowledge it or not. And I'm all good with however you want to view that. Doesn't make any difference to me. So we were put on this journey, and the pain has been incredible. Long hours, no finance, having to invest everything you've got to see this journey to completion. And now the Firefly Initiative has just started, and we're just starting to be able to talk to people about those rewards for their good. And none of it has mattered, because in my heart it was like, these people that I meet are ridiculously good, not just a little bit, like ridiculously. So that positive environment, Danny, just hang on to that, man. The dream is more powerful than the pain. Trust me.
I got to share, Daryl. I only know that too well right now.
Mm-hmm.
I have a dream inside me that I'm going to touch 10,000 hearts on a journey.
Mm-hmm.
That I'm going to touch at least 10,000 hearts. That I'm going to make a difference to the people in my communities in somewhere that means the world to me. 2 weeks ago, I had that crushed. In come Divine, goat. When the goat meets the smile, and bigger opportunities come in. Sometimes, Danny, we're just being prepared for a bigger mission than what we were prepared for.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, it's worth it. All that hardship, all those bits and pieces. Today I was in a meeting and I just put my heart on the table and I was hurting. Tears. I'm tired. And I need support and a love and a lift from people. But keep chasing, Danny.
Mm-hmm.
You're worth it. We're worth it. And we want to see that dream.
Yeah.
So on that note, Daryl, we're 54 minutes in.
We are indeed.
This has
and
been...
I am turning off at 60 minutes, whether you do or not.
I'll go control the buttons. That's not good for anybody. But there's something I do want to grab right now. And
Right.
This this is 7 times we've turned up here,
Mm-hmm.
and we've had amazing conversations. Last week it was awesome with Lisa Westgate. We opened up a whole new opportunity of conversation, which was just brilliant. I've loved it.
She can talk, that one.
She's well educated. It's quite
Good.
I quite like conversing with Lisa. She's open to exploring new opportunities, which for me is what it's all about. But I'm so grateful to have the opportunity to sit here with you, Daryl. I'm so grateful to have the opportunity to challenge good. I'm so happy to sit here and celebrate good, but more importantly, to create good. You know, the gift you gave me to be a part of the Firefly initiative, to say thank you to some of your people and some of the people bringing into your community was just amazing for me. I really value and appreciate that. So thank you from my heart to yours. I'm really loving this journey of doing good. But tonight is the last of doing good.
It is. And that's, of course, by public demand that they start throwing money at us to stay on.
Yeah. That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but we have a bigger purpose, right?
We have a much bigger purpose.
Because we, not that we feel the conversation has outgrown us, because it hasn't, certainly hasn't. And just with, another 42 different topics covered again tonight, but we have a bigger purpose. So go ahead, tell them a bigger purpose, buddy.
We want to meet people in the middle. Darren and I are very much about 1 + 1 = 3. Shorty and I are very much about 1 + 1 = 3. In everything we're doing, we're here to create good in a much bigger way. So we're going to ask you to meet us in the middle and walk this journey called life together. We have some really big plans coming forward, and we're going to ask you to get involved. We're going to ask you to join us in conversation, but not just in conversation, in action. Supporting one another to create the good in our communities, in our lives, that we want to see within one another. I am super excited about what's coming forward. I'm so grateful to have met Daryl and to take what was an idea of touching hearts and thanking people for doing their best and involving other communities to taking it to the next level again. So without giving everything that's we will be launching very soon, Daryl, give us a little bit of an insight into what you see.
Yeah, well, look, it's one of the things that we're in conversation and we're talking about the stuff, and my mind plays different games. Personally, I'm bilateral in thinking. This one can be off on a tangent while this one's listening to what you're saying. Yeah. And I'm listening and I'm thinking about society in general and how polar opposite we are. You see all this press stuff coming through on Facebook and videos that you see all the time. There is this leftism and rightism, and it's all over the Senate now. It's in their schools, and we are so opposed. We talked tonight about the opposition of good and bad, and with all of these conversations that we really want to challenge in a safe place to bring that opinion from this side of the room and bring the opinion from this side of the room. And if we can all just concede to allow ourselves to then meet in the middle, a lot of these problems, a lot of this conflict will dissipate or disappear, because we'll have the space and the intelligence and the compassion to not argue, not just be bad and put the defense up straight away. And with one of the projects in particular, it is, we're trying to work out where on the globe is the middle, if we're going to meet in the middle somewhere. But that process, if we can get East and West to meet in the middle, if we can get China and America to meet the middle, if we can get all of the unrest, if we can get husband and wife who are into the we don't talk, we're not physically connected, one's at this end and one's at this end, how do we get them to meet in the middle? And to me, it was the gravitar about that process of, it's sort of, and it stands to think, I had this most of the time in our house, there was 3 women, all hot-blooded, opinionated Italian. Conversation becomes quite buoyant sometimes, and I would get dragged into what we would call a robust conversation, aka argument, and I would get called in to be the arbitrator, and I would say, hey, listen, you both make really good points. So I want just that comment was to bring them to the middle, to concede. Oh, well, maybe I should listen to Mum's point a bit more. Maybe I should listen to my daughter's point a bit more. Do you know what I mean? It really isn't that hard, but we're so time sensitive. We're so arrogant in our own dispositions a lot of times that they'll go, yeah, I've heard all that opinion before, but this is me. Or I'll concede that bit's right, but I don't agree with this bit. Your confrontation with this so-called celebrity that disgruntled you is way out here, way out there, in relation to opinion versus you. Do you think he could change you as much as you could change him if you had the opportunity to meet in the middle?
I'd love to meet the middle. I'd love to sit in his community and understand where he comes from. And I'd love for him to come and sit in my community and learn where I've come from. So that way we can meet in the middle and create a better future for all of us because of that knowledge.
Yeah.
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 That's the ideology of all of this. My deepest, darkest pain was with my father. Only once I understood him, how he grew up, what happened to him.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have to forgive him. I just understood him so I can make better decisions going forward. The pain dissipated.
Absolutely.
Because I took the opportunity to learn, grow, and do something with it. And I think that's the joy of being human. I think that's the joy of what we have the opportunity to do.
Well, what else is there?
What we got?
But what else? what else is our functionality? Some are gifted to be able to build things. Some can paint. Some can entertain. Some are destined to be doctors and surgeons. Some pastors, and some are rubbish collectors. They're all the things we do, not the who we are. So outside our story, outside our ability to have a conversation and care about other people, outside our natural instinct to do good, because we are naturally born with that instinct, naturally, right? Outside those things, what else have we got? Doesn't matter. We finish up in a box, all of us.
Part of me wants to go, I want to challenge the singing side of things, right, that I might need to learn. So I'm going to ask you whether or not I need to learn more about the ability to sing. I don't want to be a tiger. Yes, I do. I didn't even get into it.
It was preemptive. Sorry, that was that part of my brain that was out.
No. You've heard me sing. Yeah. Unless
I just listen. There are still people engaged with us, and I want them to stay there until we at least say goodbye.
Oh, that hurt. Not my feelings, just the laugh.
Yeah, that's it.
So, well, on that note, Daryl, I honestly, from my heart to yours, everyone who's watched and been a part of this awesome series where we've gone from one doing good consistently to all these different conversations, and to have people involved in our conversations and embrace what we're doing. I honor you. I honor you for being there and putting your hearts out and sharing with us what's going on for you too. But Daryl, I have really enjoyed us.
Yeah, man.
And I've learned to love you because of the depth of conversation and how challenging we are of each other. That to me is just phenomenal. So honestly, mate, from my heart, thank you for stepping into this. Yeah,
Man, it's been not just an honor and a privilege. It's been something that I believe somewhere in our past was destined to be in our future, and that things aren't by coincidence or chance, that there is a reason that we have fallen over, crossed paths with, came into contact. To have someone as brave enough to put a platform out like this is the easiest 7 hours worth of conversation I've ever had. Well, actually, it's probably, what was it, 8, because we did 2.
it'd be close. It'd be closer to 9.5. I would have thought.
Yeah, whatever it is, it's been the easiest. It's been so enjoyable, and the audience, as you know, well, I think we started episode 1 with maybe you and I, and someone popped in and went, "Oh, that's the wrong podcast. I wasn't supposed to log into there." Those that have joined us has grown, and we look forward to those that have been on that process now to step up and come on the train to reciprocity, help us get other people to be on the platform and meet in the middle in whatever concern you've got, whatever issue you've got. If you want to soapbox an issue, jump on, because it's about someone has to start the conversation, and it doesn't matter whether the conversation is so far left of what society thinks. Doesn't matter. And so far right, there is a middle. It's the only thing. It's like, a tug of war, 2 opposing teams. The thing that counts is the bit in the middle. That little bit. Where does that go? So yeah, pretty pumped about it. And thank you, man. Thank you. It's been a real gas.
Love it, Danny. I will call you tomorrow. So that's a definite. So probably just before lunch. So I'll give you a tingle. On that note, Daryl, thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. I'm going to run.
Everyone. Thanks, Beryl. You're a champion. You've been every week.
Yeah, I love Beryl. And Beryl, thank you and Lisa and Caroline for always popping up. Like it's beautiful to have people consistently turn up in your life and embrace what you do. So it is beautiful. So on that note, thank you, everybody. Thank you, Daryl. And
stay tuned. Watch this.
Stay tuned.
Channel, but watch the channel that you'll know about soon.
Yes. So just stay tuned for a few announcements. So, all right. Take care, everyone.
Love your work, man. Keep smiling.
Hang on a sec, Daryl.
Yeah, no, here we go.
No, it's there. I know it is.
This is if anyone that doesn't know, this is Scotty's camera shy bit where he likes to buy a little bit of extra screen time by looking for the button.
But I found it.
Okay. See you then.